We're ready to talk about what happened to the people of God after they went through the Red Sea. But first we're going to sing. Sing to Rennie, celebrate Rennie, see God's light in her. Sing to Carly, celebrate Carly, see God's light in her. Sing to you, celebrate you, see God's light in you. Sing to Phoebe, celebrate Phoebe, see God's light in her. Sing to Virginia, celebrate Virginia, see God's light in her. Sing to Bodie, celebrate Bodie, see God's light in him. Sing to all of us, celebrate all of us, see God's light in all of us. Sing to everyone, celebrate everyone, see God's light in everyone. And of course, God's people were in the desert, weren't they? So here we have that desert box again, where it's kind of cold and lonely, and it can be scary out there. And once they crossed the Red Sea, God's people were kind of scared. That's absolutely right. Do you remember what God gave his people after they came through? God told them how they could live. And he gave them the 10 best ways to live, the 10 commandments. But what should they do with these very special tablets that Moses had brought for them? Well, God's people made a special box. Look at this. It was made of gold. There were special people who were allowed to carry it. And the tablets were put inside that box so they would always be safe, and everyone would know what a very special place that was and how special they were. They also made an altar and a fence around it and made it a very special place. But you see, the ark, which is what they called the box to bring the tablets, had to be able to be carried because God's people didn't know where they were supposed to live yet. They were out of Egypt, but they hadn't found a home. So when they were deciding to go somewhere, they thought maybe they should cover up that box. So when strangers came by, they didn't think that maybe there was something so special in that box. So look at this. You're right. It looks like they're covering up the ark and the 10 commandments with some kind of a special tent for God, and that's exactly what it was. It was a tent for the Ark of the 10 Commandments. And they had to carry that everywhere they went through the desert. But where are they supposed to go? The desert can be a strange place, and there can be hills and there can be valleys, and they change all the time. The people of God were still in the desert. They could have been living in the promised land, which is over here, which actually had food and water, but they were kind of scared. We can't go over there. We think the people over there are giants. We're like little grasshoppers and they're going to kill us. So the people of God wandered around in the desert. After many, many years, they came to a river called the Jordan. And there were some stones in the river. And you know what the people of God could do? From the edge of the river, they could see the promised land on the other side. They could see the city of Jericho. It was so wonderful over there. There's Jericho. Do you know what the people of God did? Finally, with their leader Joshua. God said to Joshua, "Don't be afraid. Lead the people of God into that promised land." Well, Joshua kept going back and forth and looking across this river. Couldn't make up his mind. But then the Ark of God and the 4 priests, Joshua said to the people, "Get ready. God's going to show us the way." So with the 4 priests, God rolled back the river, just like he'd done with the Red Sea, so the priests could carry the ark and go through on dry land. And all of the people were able to go to the Promised Land. Do you think they enjoyed being there? What do you think it was like? It had taken them a long time to decide to do this, but they finally went ahead. All right. We're going to put some of our figures back inside. And I think it's time for our penny box. Do you all have your pennies? Okay. Bodie has a penny. Virginia has a penny. Phoebe has her penny. And of course you have your penny. Carly has a penny. And Rennie has a penny. Before we say our prayer, I'm going to show you what you get to do this week. It is called The Legend of the 5 Kernels, which is just what we sometimes call Indian corn, which is colored corn, like the original corn that was found in this area when the settlers first came over from Europe. And there are kernels of corn, and they're talking about some of the things we should remember. The first kernel reminds us of God's love. The second kernel reminds us to love one another. Does that sound like the 10 best ways to live? Absolutely. The third kernel reminds us of our family and friends. The fourth is about the blessings God has created. And also the beauty, the last one, the beauty of God's creation. And they all stick on here so you can make your own little decoration that goes with Thanksgiving that's coming up really soon. And everybody gets their own project. You don't have to share this one with your brother or sister. And if you want to, you can use the double stick tape on the back, make a magnet, and stick it on your refrigerator or wherever else is something that's metal. Okay, we're ready to say our prayer? All set? Thank you for the world so sweet. Thank you for the food we eat. Thank you for the birds that sing. Thank you, God, for everything.